Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. So, I'm a little excited because I discovered that there's a fellow named Rucka Rucka Ali who's an objectivist because he was on the Rubin Report recently, which was great. And there's another fellow named Charles Tew, as in not one but two, spelled different than that. It's Tango Echo Whiskey. And these gentlemen are objectivists. Here's how new they are to the game. They don't know who Daniel Dennett is. Now, some objectivists don't, but and they're just getting their feet wet with Christopher Hitchens. They're very good, though. Both of them are quite good. Here's how I found Rucka Rucka. Years ago, I was watching these epic rap battles of history, and I thought, that's some... How could some kid making these rap things know about objectivist tropes, whatever it was? And I can't remember what it was, Stalin versus Hitler or something like that. I thought, man, is it possible that he knows about objectivism? And he sort of did. He actually did. Turns out it was an objectivist, or he became an objectivist. Interestingly, he said that so many people attacked Ayn Rand and were so hateful towards her and said, oh yeah, when I was a teenager I was convinced by that stuff. So he just sat on it and waited and waited and waited, and he didn't say he was an objectivist until finally he said, well, it just keeps on making sense, and I keep on seeing that it makes sense. So interesting that we have a new objectosphere. I wonder how big it is. Like, is it so big that Charles Tew, or perhaps should I say, have the YouTube and Google gods been so successful in restricting the spread of knowledge that Mr. Charles Tew and Rucka Rucka, neither of them know about me? Is that possible? Or if they ever saw me, they just were like, boring, and left that video very quick. But here they are. It's an objectivist thing. There aren't a lot of objectivists on YouTube. I had thought of some sort of conversation. I see them talking to each other all the time. And I've thought of some sort of conversation, but I believe from past experience that objectivists can't really have great conversations because they pretty much agree on everything. So you're sitting around saying, oh yes, well, yeah, 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 yep, yep. And that just goes on for hours. So, but it's exciting that they're out there making the material. I've watched a bunch of their material just to make sure that they're objectivists, that I can endorse them. I don't know how much I'll keep tuning in, because being an objectivist, they're sort of going over what I already know, but there is some value in that still also. And I don't know really what my audience is. Are most of you objectivists, or are most of you just smart people who tune in because I have interesting videos? I really don't know. I know some of you are Christians. Naughty, naughty. So, anyways, the objectosphere is growing. It would be fascinating if Charles Tew and Rucka Rucka had never heard of Mr. Cropper. They don't know the history of StephBot because they were watching Stefan Molyneux's interview with Jordan Peterson, and they take Stefan Molyneux at face value when he says that he is an objectivist of some kind or something, claims some affinity with Ayn Rand's ideas. These guys don't know about the early days of YouTube when Steph's name was StephBot and he was some sort of anarchist, and he got smashed regularly by the objectivists and made fun of and ridiculed for, and he couldn't. And here's the one thing that I realize now that it's hard to know about unless you were there. The videos are still up on my side of it. StephBot's taken all of his old videos down. But here's the interesting thing. He kept getting smashed by the Ayn Rand people. And so then he said, okay, so the only ideas that are really solid are the Ayn Rand's ideas. And then he picks and chooses the ones that he best understands and uses those, and then makes a mess of it. That's Steph Molyneux for you. But he didn't come on to YouTube as an objectivist and as an Ayn Randian. He came on to YouTube as a pseudo-intellectual who knew almost nothing and made a fool of himself constantly and was educated on YouTube by objectivists. And then went and did all the things he did. Alright, so I don't know what else I have to say about this. I wanted to mention Charles Tew and Rucka Ali, Rucka Reacts. And who else? Am I missing somebody else? I mean, I know there's Huron Brook and so on. So, if I'm missing anybody else, let me know, please, in the comments or probably in the comments.